Oh, you bend over quite a bit because you're tall.
Uh-huh.
I want to measure your arms. I think you have short arms for your height, but I'm not sure because you do bend over quite a bit. You got quite a bit of knee flex. I'm not saying that's bad. I'm not saying that's bad at all. But I do want to take a look at your plane of your swing.
Okay.
Your weight, if you look at the pressure you got as you swung the club, your weight is 63% on your left foot at address. And heel to toe, it's about 50-50, which is good. So you put a little more weight on your left foot at setup. Takeaway is quite nice. Club head stays to the outside of your hands here. That's good. That's pretty much what I would want, actually. I'm going to move this out of the way temporarily. You said you like to hit the ball
I mean straight.
straight, obviously, but you hit a little fade right now.
Yeah.
And because you're tall, you have an upright swing. That's good. There's not. When your club gets parallel to the ground, when your left arm's parallel to the ground, the shaft is on this plane there. That's good. And when you get to the top, the club's pointing a little bit too much across the line there.
Okay.
Overswing,
right?
Well, not necessarily overswing, but just the shaft should be pointing more parallel to your feet.
All right.
So the shaft of the club should look like this. I'll show you. We'll put up a model so you understand what I'm talking about. Alright, so we'll put a line on the shaft just like yours. He's going to take the club back much the same way. Very similar takeaway, which is quite similar in that regard. And then he's going to set the club pretty much at the same place, pretty much on the same angle, close to it. His is at 69 and yours is 66. But watch where his club is at the top. See how it's more parallel to the shaft on the ground? You see this stick or his feet? That would be more preferable.
Okay, I see.
You're not far off here though. Now, and you change directions, your downswing, you drop the club. Instead of coming down on a little bit of a shallower plane, you come a little on a steeper plane, and I'll explain that. When he takes the club back and sets the club, he sets it on that angle. When he starts down, the club shallows out. Now what does shallow out mean? It means the club, the angle of the shaft gets flatter.
Okay.
On a more horizontal plane. Does that make sense? Yours doesn't really do that. That's why you can't hit a draw. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to change that.
Okay.
So all the great players have a little bit of a plane change from steep on the backswing to slightly shallow coming down like that. Okay, let's take Jordan Spieth. Okay, here's the plane of the shaft. When he goes back, he's going to set the club much like you do. 63 degrees. We're going to put a circle on his hands here. Then we're going to go up to the top, put another circle. Then we're going to draw a line. And that is actually the path his hands swing on. His hands swing up and down on the same path. Okay, so here's his backswing. Goes up here, goes up to the top. Notice where the club shaft's pointing. Now as he comes down, he shallows out the club. And his hands come back down on the same path.
Okay.
So from here to here, he goes back.
Yeah. You say I move, right, from the top when I cut. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have the tendency.
So your club doesn't. So here are your hands right here, Christina.
Yeah.
And then as you go up, we'll put another circle when you get to the top in your hands. here, and then we'll draw that same straight line. And your hands should really drop down on almost the exact same line that they go back on. Which they do, pretty much. But the plane of your shaft is too vertical here. I want it to be on a shallower plane.
Okay.
See? So, that's what we're going to do. And really, to shallow out the plane of your club, you just have to feel like your right palm is working down or up a little bit. Like so, yeah, like that one. And then you'll be able to come into the ball. Now, I'll show you a couple drills we can do to fix yours. You don't really have, it's not that bad. I mean, it's very slight. But that's why you have trouble. You come a little over the top. You've heard that term, or steep. I think your setup's a little bit wrong here. I think your hand should be up so that the club would point almost at your belly button. I think your hands are too low here.
Okay.
I think you lift them up a little bit.
Okay.
And then I want the golf club to travel in that cone coming down. See how yours comes down a little steep?
Yes.
And that's what we're going to change today.
Okay.
All right.